Friends, Miss Natalie here. I am going to show you how to create the form and value Krita sampler. We're going to start by opening a new file. Make sure it's 1600 by 1600. All right, and then you are going to select the ellipse selection tool and drag that, click and drag, I should say, until you have a circle. And then you're going to go over to the gradient tool. You're going to choose that, and then you're going to click on your gradient options at the top. Make sure that you have it foreground to background. Foreground to background. And then you can change your background color and your foreground color if you want. I changed mine to something a little more purple because I do enjoy a purple. So changing my background color, foreground color. You do that by clicking on those two little squares that are there next to the edit brush tool. All right. And then I'm going to check on my tool, what do we call it? My tool settings. Make sure that I am choosing a radial gradient pattern because that'll give me a sphere. And when I click wherever I click, that's where my foreground color is going to start. And I'm going to drag, and that's where my background color will be. And that'll choose where my gradient is. And you can see that created a highlight and shadow that turned my circle into a sphere. Pretty nifty. All right, when I'm done with that, I want to go up to select and make sure that I deselect so that I can work outside that circle area. So I click on deselect, and now I can work anywhere that's not on the page at all. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my freehand brush and go over to my brush options and choose a brush that I like. Do I like that one? I don't know. Let's choose maybe that brush. Yeah, it's an okay brush, I guess. All right, and I'm going to choose the color that I have for my foreground color, and I'm going to fill that in, and then I'm going to flip. Did you know that you could flip your foreground and background color by clicking on that little flippity flip tool right there? And I'm going to put my background color there. All right, so I've got my two colors side by side. They're actually the same color. They're just two different values of that color. And then I'm going to choose I don't know if you saw that, I chose a blending brush. I chose the basic blender, and that kind of pushes the one color into the other. And if I make little kind of circular motions, it kind of pushes them around. It's an okay blender. But I actually prefer this blender, which is the Blender Blur. And there we go. And I'm going to make that large enough so that it's actually useful. There we go. And then with that, it really blurs one hue into the other, one value into the other in this case. And I can just smooth it all out. And I'm creating that range of values from one to the other, and I'm getting kind of a gradient effect by hand, if you will. So I'm going to go ahead and finish smoothing that out, and just a little bit more smoothing, and then I've got definitely have a range of values from the foreground to the background of my two purples. And that's really it. So the last thing to do is to save. And I'm going to save as, there it is, save this as color and shape sampler, Lynchner. Make sure that your name is on your saved file. And I want to save it as a JPEG file. Really important, saving it as a JPEG. That way I can upload it. Click save there, and I'm also going to save it as a Krita file in case I want to make any changes. And I'm all ready to upload my file to the assignment page now. So go ahead and open up Krita and go make your sampler.